Alright, what's going on, guys? This is probably like the third take of this thing. Maybe I should stop starting with telling you guys this is an additional take. Didn't get the case yet. I'm going to get a case for this phone, which has a stand, so I'll be able to do my old setup, which I think works pretty well. But until then, I'm going to try and do it like this. If this doesn't work, I'm running out and buying a case right now for it, because it's bothering me pretty bad. $30, but whatever. Anyway, this is a DDR Trigger Maze. Full titanium handles, S30V blade, which is hand polished or hand finished. Looks amazing. My camera will take a couple seconds to focus sometimes, so just bear with me. The reason I'm using this and not the other camera, or my actual camera, this has autofocus. As you guys can see, my other camera doesn't, so the closer up shots or the farther away shots, something's going to be blurry. I'm sure you guys know that, but any new subscribers might not. So anyway, beautiful knife. Excellent ergonomics to this thing. Like I said, titanium handles, S30V blade. This is the DDR Trigger Maze. I think the design, the shape of this knife is the trigger, and then the pattern on the handle is the maze. It is excellent ergonomically. I mean, this is fantastic. Darryl and Ralph really did a great job with this. If you just hold it in your hand, like if you go to pick this up, you can see where it just conforms to your hand. Perfect placement for your fingers and your thumb. I love the gripping on this knife. I love the way the handle positions this knife in your hand. Some knives, which I'm not a fan of, will position almost the index finger in front of your thumb. So your hand feels kind of cramped. It doesn't look bad, but it feels cramped as hell like this. Just the simple allowing the jimping to be farther up than the finger choil really allows for very comfortable, very ergonomic grip. Also, the way that the back end is curved, I can really just hold the knife with my thumb and index finger and push the butt of the knife into my palm, and I can control the knife with this. I feel like I can make cuts like this. So to have a lot of control with limited grip is a great thing for a knife. You don't have to choke the hell out of this thing to feel like you have grip. So the handle is just, it's one of the best I've held. It's literally, it's on par with Spyderco's renowned ergonomics, just at a custom level. This really does feel fantastic in the hand. It's not the biggest knife in the world. As you can tell, the handle gets kind of thin there. That's not the best comparison, but I mean, that's like the top of my thumb, It's not a huge handle at all, but he uses the design makes it fill your palm. So a small handle that feels like it fills the palm, which is excellent. Makes it a lot more carryable. The next thing you're going to notice, once you get over the design and the ergonomics, it is spring assisted, and this thing fires like a rocket. I mean, this thing shoots out with authority every time, locks up solid. Once you get past that detent with either the flipper or the thumb studs, I mean, once you get past it, it just goes. Shoots out like a rocket, and you can hear how solid it locks up. But an amazing thing about this, it locks up so solid. Let's try and get you the best focus possible. There you go. 50%, loving the lockup. You heard how solid it locks up, but you can't hear any stickiness when you go to unlock it. This is smooth. And this pocket clip also acts as not a lock stabilizer, but to make sure you don't overextend the lock bar. So for how hard, I'm not going to talk when I do it, but listen to how hard it opens up, and then how smooth it disengages. Excellent. I don't know what he did to do this, but there are definitely a lot of knives out there that don't open up near as hard and that are stickier to disengage. I think that's a great thing for this knife. One of my concerns about this knife was with how hard it opens up, will there be increased lock degradation? Will the lock bar wear faster than normal? But since this doesn't have any stick to it and it's super smooth every time, I don't think it will. That's just my guess, my estimation, but I don't think it will. I think that's a really cool quality, and I think that will lead to better wear. The thumb studs, everything with this knife kind of just flows. Everything, there's a lot of detail. Even the flipper, you can see, has a great amount of detail built into it. It's not over aggressive, but it definitely allows for a nice grip, so you can actuate the knife very easily. Same thing with the jimping. I love this kind of jimping. This knife, sorry, just a little stumble there. I love the jimping on this knife, and I love this type of jimping. It's different from a Spyderco, which is another brand of jimping that I do love. It's more spaced apart, and it's not too aggressive, but your thumb, it's like your thumb's supposed to rest there, which puts it in a very comfortable position, and when you need to dig into it, it is there. Like I'm pushing, right now my thumb's resting. This is regular cuts, something simple. However, if I need to grip the knife a little harder, to do a little harder work, I can dig my thumb into that jimping and it's not going anywhere. And then obviously the flipper acts as a finger guard. So it's a very nice, very secure knife. And the way the handle curves down, you even feel very secure. Like I'm just gripping with these two, with my pinky and my ring finger. And the knife feels secure in my hand just because of how ergonomic the handle is. You can see how when I just go to grip, it pushes the handle back into my palm. Hopefully this isn't too blurry for you guys. And then every finger that attaches, it just feels more and more secure. I would love to see somebody try and grab this out of my hand. It's just not possible. One thing that my own personal preference that I'm not the biggest fan of with this knife is the tip-down carry orientation. Oh crap! You guys okay? You alright? You guys okay? Do I need to dust you off a little bit? You good? Alright. I'm not going to stop there because that was the best start I've had to reviewing this knife. So we're going to go with it. Alright? So you guys just, shake yourselves off. Alright. Anyway. What was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying. Alright, the pocket clip. Awesome looking pocket clip, by the way. Polished. I assume this is steel. It could be titanium, but I'm pretty sure. I think it's steel. So polished pocket clip. Has this logo on there. It looks great. Really, it does flow with the knife. It's a nice feature. And the fact that it is a deep carry pocket clip is awesome. It disappears into the hand. The knife disappears into your pocket. However, I'm just not a fan of. I'm just not a personal fan of tip up or of tip down carry. For one, not for it's quicker either way. I have a video on that. I don't care. I don't think either way is quicker. If either way makes a difference, that's quickness of extracting this isn't my main reasoning. If it's tip up, tip down, I can get a knife out quick and deploy it. That's another topic. I have a video on that too. But for the sheer fact that it's a little less comfortable, I feel. Now, this knife does an excellent job. Darryl Ralph really did a great job designing this knife. Because maybe he likes tip up or tip down orientation. It obviously allows the clip to act as the overextend protection of the lock bar. But I'm just not a fan of having the clip digging into my index finger. Now, I say digging in, and that's a little extreme on this knife. Some knives, I just plain don't like it. It just digs into my index finger, and I don't like the feel of it. This knife, with how the pocket clip is flatter, it really doesn't feel uncomfortable at all. It's actually tolerable. It's not that. I don't want you guys to get the wrong impression thinking that this makes the knife uncomfortable. It doesn't. It's very comfortable. It's just a pet peeve of mine personally. Individually, I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather it be at the bottom. However, it might not work at the bottom because it's such a contoured handle in your hand, where the pocket clip on the bottom of this might feel worse down here than it does up here because you do have a little room. So, I would love to try this knife with a tip up or with the pocket clip oriented down here. And I might actually very well do that. In a couple months, I might order one from Darryl to my own specifications. But that's just one pet peeve of mine. Does not affect the knife at all. Still an amazing knife. Still amazing ergonomically. And the fact that I don't like that and it still feels nice and doesn't bother me is just a testament to how comfortable this knife is and how well thought out it is. Now let's talk about the blade. Main part of a knife. Let it focus a little bit. And if you guys can see, the bevel on this thing is thick. It's a steep bevel. This knife actually, I got this knife, and with this knife, I actually bought a Spyderco sharp maker. This knife will not work with a sharp maker. Or the sharp maker in its set positions, in its 40-degree setup, will not work with this knife. The bevel is greater than 40 degrees on this. If you can see how thick it is by the tip, because he allows, it's a genius design. It's great. The knife carries the thickness to the tip very, very well. It is very thick at the tip, and you can see by how big the bevel is, because the knife's so thick. And that's even with a steep bevel. That's with something over 40 degrees. But if you look over here, you can see that the bevel isn't quite as big down by the heel of the knife as it is up here. He takes away, and in his flat grind, he takes away more metal. So here, I think, this is all I'm guessing, I haven't spoke to him himself, but it seems like here he has intended set up for slicing, because it gets thinner, although the grind is greater than 40 degrees, the bevel's greater than 40 degrees. He takes away more metal down here, so it's thinner behind the cutting edge than here. Here is by the tip, it's very thick behind the cutting edge, which makes me think it would be a very good stabber. Piercing ability is high, and it's tough, so I think it would do well as a piercer. Not that this knife is intended for stabbing through ridiculous things, but if you had to do a little piercing, a little prying with the tip, it would hold up very, very well. You're not going to snap that tip off. Don't really know what else to talk about. It might come to me, but here's a comparison between that and a Chris Reeve Zahn. You guys can see the handle on the Darryl Ralph is shorter than the Zahn, but it does have curvature to it, so that takes away some length, but still maintains the same surface area or similar surface area. So they both fill out the hand well. Then if you look, the blade lengths are actually fairly similar. I think the Zahn, the stats are it's 3.67, something like that, and I think this is 3.4, 3.37. Don't quote me on that. You guys can look it up, but surprisingly similar. Feel completely different in hand, but surprisingly similar cutting length. But there you go. So overall, guys, this is an amazing knife. Definitely worth the money. Definitely on par with great titanium knives. All right. Just to recap, awesome assisted opening, very powerful, locks up with authority every time. The lock bar is very easy to get to. I guess I can talk about that. It has the grooves cut out, which are not overly aggressive. Let me get a better view. There you go. Not overly aggressive. The lockup is excellent at 50%. No movement. And these cutouts make it very easy to actuate the lock bar. You never miss. And it's not overly aggressive. It's not going to mess with your fingers. The only thing that's going to mess with your finger a little bit is when you first get it, to overcome the detent with the thumb stud is a little tough, but it's just fine now. Your thumb will get used to it, no big deal. The ergonomics are amazing. The jimping is great. The pocket clip is awesome. Deep carry. Provides the lock stop or the lock bar stabilizer or overextension protection. The finger guard is awesome. The flipper acts as the finger guard. Just the hand finishing on the blade is great. Don't have much else to say about this. It's an overall great knife. So yeah. Maybe I'll just give you guys a little macro right now and be done with it. It really is a great looking knife. I mean, this is a lot of craftsmanship. Just it looks like a custom. It feels like a custom. It's a great work. You know, I'm increasingly liking Daryl's designs. I definitely plan to have a couple of his knives when I'm more established. Just starting a new job, so you know, money's graduating college, starting a new job, so money's a little tight. Can't have everything I want right now, but definitely will. I'll probably be ordering my own custom one of these in a couple months once I get my new job started in a week or two, build up some cash. But really an excellent knife, guys. Excellent knife. You can tell the quality. It's, come on, focus. It's not a knife that you're going to get and say, I don't know if this feels like a customer feels like quality. This definitely feels like quality. It definitely feels solid. It definitely feels worth it. Oh, and just to say, I'm pretty sure this is the action's amazing, but I think this is phosphor bronze bushings. I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys that. But yeah, you can see it right there. And that's not dirt, that's just lube and grease, because Daryl has these knives coming out lubed up and greased tip top at a factory, so it's excellent. You know, there's no harsh edges. That beveling, that rounding is amazing. Very smooth, very ergonomic the whole way. Obviously, centering, awesome. There you go. He really uses every last millimeter of the handle, which I love. I hate wasted handle space. But yeah, there you go. Like I said, guys, amazing knife. Definitely will be ordering another one from Daryl Ralph himself with my own configuration. I did get this off, the forums, but I will be ordering my own. Absolutely. I've had a couple talkings with Mr. Daryl Ralph, exchanged some emails. He's very prompt. He's amazing to talk to. He seems like a great guy. And he said he stands behind his knives, his designs, which is just something you're looking for when you want a custom knife. So I really can't think of too many bad things to say. And the only bad thing I could say was my personal preference. So great knife, guys. I'm going to cut it off here. The only reason why I'm letting it go so long, it's a great knife, and I don't see this too much on on YouTube or on the forums being reviewed. So just letting it soak all up. You guys can shut this off anytime. I'm sure if you got bored, you shut it off already. There you go, guys. Amazing knife. Alright, guys. See you in the next video. Thanks a lot.